This is Action Sports Jax First and 10 Training Camp. Sponsored by Ann the Jar and Levine, Accident Attorneys.
Tony Boselli, put that jacket on, Tony!
There it is. The gold jacket was officially presented to Tony Boselli by his good friend, Mark Brunell. Welcome to a Friday edition of First and 10. Jags are off following last night's contest against the Las Vegas Raiders. Still plenty of Jaguars football talk as we head to the bottom of the hour.
The first ever Jaguars draft pick is now their first Hall of Famer, Tony Boselli.
That's because we are on the heels of this guy, Tony Boselli, being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dan Hickey has more on the first Jaguar to be memorialized in Canton.
I've had the privilege of knowing Tony Boselli since he was a chubby-cheeked All-American from USC and was the first overall draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars back in 1995. Now, as many of you know, Canton, Ohio is 838 miles from Jacksonville, Florida. But the journey for Don Anthony Boselli Jr. was much longer to get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 6 times he was a finalist.
Is it disappointing? Sure. It's one of those things, and we are hoping for the knock. We've done this 3 years in a row now. I was hoping last year was the last time.
Finally, the knock everyone had been hoping for came this past winter. The first ever draft pick was now the first ever Hall of Famer. But this is different. He's our Hall of Famer. He's a Jaguar. He's a Jacksonville Jaguar.
I've said all along, it's about, I'm bringing my family with me. I'm bringing every teammate, all the coaches I played for, guys I played with. And I'm also bringing the city of Jacksonville, the fans of the Jaguars.
There were signs early in his career. The Bruce Smith game, Monday Night Football against Jason Taylor, running down defensive backs after interceptions. When Tony gave up a sack, it was headlines. The only problem, it didn't last long. In October of 2001, Boselli played the last NFL game of his career in Seattle at Husky Stadium against the Seahawks. Well, he tried to play. He no longer could move his arm. He tried for 2 more seasons before he knew it was over. And while the Bosellis had pit stops in Houston, California, and Nashville, they always knew where home was.
I've always felt like from day one I represent the Jacksonville Jaguars. I represent Jacksonville. I love this place. This is my home. We chose to be here. We're not leaving. I hope the fans are proud. And I hope it means something to them because they've always been good to me. And it's good to do something, be a part of something like this for Jacksonville as well.
This weekend, Tony takes his rightful place right here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. It's been a long journey, but a wonderful ride with the perfect ending. And I know he wouldn't change a thing. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I'm Dan Hickey, Action Sports Jax.
Hey, the Jaguars actually played a football game last night, if you can call it that. We'll touch on the first look at the Jaguars' return to the football field when we come back.
2nd and 7 for Stidham, and he runs into Trayvon Walker.
Now, most will tell you that it doesn't count because it's a preseason sack, but Trayvon Walker took a quarterback to the ground in his first game action. From the looks of it, this is the first of many. After months of waiting, Jaguars football has returned to our lives. Sure, it was a preseason matchup in which most of the regular season starters didn't play, but it was one step closer to the real thing in September. There were some bright spots. In fact, there was one very bright spot. Brent Martineau has more on the roar from number 44.
Hours away from enshrinement here in Canton, Ohio at the Pro Football Hall of Fame for Tony Boselli, Leroy Butler, and the rest of the class of 2022. And that is the focal point. That's the headline and getting all the attention. But there was a football game on Thursday between the Jaguars and the Raiders, and people from Jacksonville to Canton are buzzing about the play of one Jaguars player, Trayvon Walker, of course, the first overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Really put on a good show in a short amount of time, but it was a nice first impression. Getting a hit on the quarterback, a penalty too, but we won't talk about that. He also had a sack. Trayvon Walker's NFL debut is in the books.
It was definitely exciting just to be out there, actual on the NFL roster, out there on the NFL team, playing with other NFL players is very exciting. Something that I always remember my first snap.
Trayvon a good player. He's a freak. Once he learned the game and know how to play, he gonna be hard to deal with. And like you said, you saw a little bit of that tonight.
The pass rush was the one bright spot on Thursday night for the Jaguars' entire football team, really, but especially the defense. Arden Key had a couple of sacks. Calebon Chason was pretty active as well. We'll see what happens next week when the Jags take on the Cleveland Browns. That one will be in Jacksonville. For now, in Canton, Ohio, I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
One last break before we call it a night on 1st and 10. When we come back, we'll recap the week and put a bow on this show.